Welcome back to another exciting episode of No Quest for the Wicked. Gentlemen, I have 2 questions for you. Are you ready to rock?
Yeah, finally. Paranoia is paying off, baby. We were right the whole time.
Ready to rock.
My answer's no, but we'll see.
More importantly, are you ready to roll?
Yeah, let's do it. I'm jazzed.
As ready as possible.
Justified.
Whatever the fuck this is going to be.
You are on Extium-12, the living planet, currently embroiled in a crazy electrical storm. You are deep within the secret facility of Contra and Jalen Mazo, where you have been trying to make your way and find where Peniteris is being kept because of all the trouble in Casa-Mal. The Reckoning is currently tearing the system apart from planet to planet, and you need to stop her some way before it destroys the system entirely. Last episode, you found out quite a bit. First, you found out that Cody is the product of something called Project Cody, which you already knew, but you didn't realize that that is the same project that created Hayden Wire. They are technically the same prototype. However, during Alpha's life, he seemed to have taken a liking to Cody, and Peniteris had given him the spark of life, giving him sentience and a soul. You also found out that Alpha was created as a result of a lab experiment called Project Graft, which Mazo was using to research a cure for his wife, Helena. At some point in time, he had abandoned that project until Alpha himself got sick, at which point the shift moved over to something called transference. Durrin had set up, with the request of Cody, a kill switch on the Project Cody network, which Azan had warned you that if you shut it down, you would kill Cody and you would not be able to stop Peniteris, and therefore dooming the entire system. But the two of you agreed that it would be good to have a failsafe because the thousands of Hayden Wire were also connected to the network. Upon dealing with your individual threats and learning all the things that you learned, you went down into a hangar bay where you found piles and piles of victims of silvering, and then none other than Captain Victor Benson appeared before you. We're going to need you boys to roll initiative.
Wait, we're just starting combat? It's not going to be like, hey, what's up? It's been a while.
Maybe.
I got a 25.
22 for me.
14.
Terry raises a good point. You don't have to fight, but it certainly seems like Victor Benson is aggressive. Cody, you're going first. The kunai are slack and on the ground. His hands sort of loosely wrapped around the orange cables that attach them to his person. He's still shrouded a little bit in darkness, but as he looks up, you see that his face is twisted into that exaggerated smile.
Victor, Captain, you're alive. We've been looking for you.
He doesn't say anything. He just takes a step forward, the kunai dragging along the ground.
It's me, Cody. I know I didn't travel with you as long as the others, but I'm gonna activate my defense matrix,
okay.
And I'm gonna walk towards him, but like not aggressively.
How close are you getting?
If he's walking towards me, I'll meet him.
Like face to face?
Yeah, it's a really bad idea, but we found Quip and Query, and we almost have the whole crew back together. We need you.
He says, you have everyone. The whole crew of the Maverick?
Not yet.
Who are you missing?
Satir got silvered, and I don't think they made it, but there are other people who are silvered here. Maybe he is.
He looks down for a second, and when he looks up, his face is now in an exaggerated, frown, and he says, Junkie, you let me down.
Cody, flinches like he got hit. I know, but I'm trying to make up for it.
Do you want to take an action?
I just reach out a hand hesitantly, and I stop halfway between us. I'm just like, we can make all this right. We just can you come with us?
As you reach your hand and hover it about, a couple inches off of his shoulder, you see crackles of red electricity. When you touch those orbs and the electricity jumps to your fingertips, that happens. red electricity crackling in between your fingertips and your palm.
I snap my hand back. Don't mind that. That's not me.
If you're not doing an action, we're gonna have to pass your turn.
Yeah, Cody is worried about setting things off. He's trying to get somewhere non-violently.
You trying to defuse a situation.
Durrin, it's your turn.
Merrick, what's the call here?
Well, there's a couple things, Durrin, that might be going on here. A, he's gooped, which means he's done. That's it. 2, the red electricity that was just from Cody's hands. He could be a Vestige host, or the Vestige is one of the reasons why he's been kept alive so long. I'm not too sure. I don't know if we need to enact combat right away, but be prepared. I have a feeling that this is how this is going to go.
Yeah, I'm just going to...
Durrin, engage in conversation a little bit while you set up. Let's see how much of his personality is left. If it's just a guise or a little bit left the Vestige is using, we might be able to push its limits by just asking a question. So get in a position.
What's a good question? I don't... All right, I'll figure it out. All right, well, Durrin will just kind of move to the... No, I don't want to fucking set him off. I'm worried if I move to a spot to look like I'm flanking him, he'll get edgy, so I'll stay put, just kind of ready, and I think I'm just going to delay my turn. I think it's just the call for this, and come up with a good question to ask him.
Okay. Merrick, it is your turn.
Captain, remember that first day we met?
His face goes back into that weird smile slowly and says, "You were half dead."
Yeah, my brother had just almost ended my life. I was pathetic. Thought that was it. But I didn't have a goal, a purpose, an endgame. But you reached your hand out to me, and that will always be one of the most defining moments of my life, and I thank you for it. You set me on the right path. So I think it's time for the three of us to return the favor to you, Captain.
Engine's acting up again. How should I fix it?
Durrin, it needs to be a personal question.
I don't know how
How do you want this to go, Captain?
Victor turns around and kind of looks, surveys the situation, the piles of dead bodies around you guys. And there's another sort of crackle of electricity off him. He turns around and he says, "Y'all could leave right now. Let what's happening happen."
We can't do that, Victor. I'm sorry.
Well, wait, why do we need this?
We need to keep going forward, Cody.
Otherwise, we have nothing to go back to.
I'm asking Cap why we need to leave. Maybe he knows something that we don't.
Well, he might not know it, but the Vestige does, doesn't it?
This reckoning is long overdue.
Is that really you talking in there, Benson?
Yeah, it sounds like you're being a hero there, Captain.
Saving the world from itself.
Can I do a medicine check on this weird smile? To see, is it...
It's a weird frown now, isn't it?
He's smiling again now.
23. I just want to, know... Because that doesn't seem human. So is it, a surgical thing? Is it, a disease? Is there anything I can...
The exaggerated expressions that you're seeing from him remind you of something. And it's the exaggerated expressions of Riddle.
What?
I swear to God.
What the?
What
does that even
brain
fucking mean?
hurts.
Is Riddle the Vestige? Has Riddle been the Vestige this whole time?
Oh man, that's awkward now if that's the case, yeah.
That's real bad news if that's the case.
Yeah, that's real awkward.
I say to the captain, are you protecting Penny?
I'm just returning a favor.
I really thought he was going to say, subject prohibited.
That would have been the best.
Can I tell if this is him, though? Because, do we know it's... Is there a way to tell if it's him? Because this doesn't make sense. He just have his face changed.
You'd have to give me a mysticism check.
Damn it.
Oh, that one skill we all have.
I do have it, so I will...
An athletics. Can I just backflip my way into this knowledge?
Check his bones with that athletics, see, the muscle structure seems right.
Dane, I rolled an 18 on the dice, which is great, because I have a +4, so that's 22.
You can tell, judging by what you've seen, the fact that the Vestige has put itself into the computers, you've seen it consciously and sentiently defend the things that you've been looking for on the terminals, the suspicious things in which it's allowed you to view, Project Graph, the information about it, and Project Cody, those terminals were full and easy access. You've also seen it enter into Hayden Wire as well. You can assume that the Vestige has some sort of ability to inhabit certain people as hosts and certain things as hosts. And you would guess by the red electricity peeling off him, and the fact that you saw the electricity sort of like zap through a bunch of things before Victor's appearance, that yes, the Vestige is currently inhabiting Victor Benson as a host.
So, Victor, would you prefer Victor, the Vestige? Does it matter for this conversation?
None of those are my name.
Perfect. What shall we call you?
It thinks for a second, and it says, Extium.
Nice to meet you, Extium.
So you are a living planet. Fun.
Oh.
Extium, what are you trying to protect here?
Like I said, I'm returning a favor.
To Meso or to Peniteris?
To the Valai.
Okay.
Well, not all of the Valai want this to happen.
In fact, the majority of them don't.
It thinks for a second and says, the majority is an awfully strong word to use.
That's fair.
There's two, I think. So, I think it's a 50-50 split.
50-50, okay.
66-33 if you count Cody.
Yeah, maybe
True.
I'm only like 12%.
You have a majority vote right now.
Victor says, if that's the metric in which you're using, then it's still a stalemate.
No, it'd be 1.5 versus 1, which means...
And a half.
We win. Oh, and a half. Oh. Are you part
I'm
Valai too?
assuming the Vestige here was given a spark of creation as well, like you, Cody.
Okay. Damn.
There's a whole hell of a lot more of me than there is of you.
Well, you could count the Haydens, but they're not really like me. Does that mean we're brothers?
Not exactly how it works under my understanding.
I think it's close enough for me. We don't want to be mean to you. We feel like you've been hard done by Meso. Are we wrong?
If that's where your heart lies, then you're on my side. You're on Peniteris' side.
But Peniteris seems to want to kill everybody.
And rightfully so.
I can understand some people, but not everybody was a part of what happened to you, and not everybody is Meso.
But the collective allowed people like Meso to exist.
I think Meso just had so much power that he got to determine what existed and what happened, irregardless of everybody else. If they knew,
they'd keep buying Contra products. They'd keep embellishing themselves. They wouldn't change a damn thing.
For a planet, you care a lot about the politics of the system.
Am I not part of the system?
We dealt a really crushing blow to Contra. I believe most of them were arrested and a lot of bad things happened. So we're one step towards justice in that regard, and I think that will be a lesson to everybody. You can't have a better system if there is no system, though.
You can if you start anew.
There are other ways to start anew than from the ashes. You know, Victor Benson is the perfect host for you, Vestige, because Victor had great power and refused to do anything about it. He was locked in by the stupid catchphrase he kept on saying. Don't be a hero, don't be a hero. It's selfish. I now realize, what's the point of that? If you have great power, if you've got the ability to do something to better the people around you, then just do it. I'm changing our catchphrase. Our new catchphrase is be a hero. We have power. Let's take the responsibility given to us, and let's save some innocent lives. We can fix the politics later. We can fix capitalism later, maybe, I guess, I don't know. But all I know is that right now I hear the screams of innocence that you showed us on those goddamn television screens. There's a timer going. Extium, innocents are dying. Let's make a difference.
Great power is a lot of responsibility.
So much.
Merrick, are you taking an action?
Merrick is going to attack Victor Benson. This is not the time to be standing around talking about our personal policy. Let's make a difference.
Aye, Captain.
I'm going to activate my bodyguard ability to defend Benson.
Oh, that makes things awkward.
How does that work?
I add +2 to the AC.
Okay.
Cody, what are you doing?
There are other ways. You just said it.
We don't have time, Cody. People are dying right now.
Well, you still swing. It's like it only happens when you swing, and
I'm just saying this as I look at my stats. That's going to be 37 to hit.
Yeah. A +2 does not help that.
All right, I take half the damage then.
What the f...
Without the electricity, it's 49. I rolled really well.
So I take 24. I step in between as you come in, and I kind of like half get you out of the way, but like I mistime it, and I just get like a slash across the chest. I'm just in between you both. There's another way. We don't need to do this.
What's the way,
Exium,
Cody?
I don't know. We can talk. Exium, you don't
Don't
need
have
to do
time
this.
to talk, Cody. People are dying now.
I know, but this is the quickest way to stop them. If Exium just listens, we're trying to help you.
Then leave.
We're not going to leave. We're not leaving, but we don't want to hurt you.
Then you are a threat.
You need to get your electrical head out of your electrical ass and listen to what we're saying. We're trying to help you. You're my brother. We're on the same side. People have been bad to us, and we're trying to make that better. Killing everybody doesn't help. It's a coward's way out. It avoids the real work. Are you a coward?
Axiom says, sometimes you need to make difficult decisions.
I know, and that's one right now. My friend just stabbed me. You think that was easy? Nothing I've done has been easy. But I've learned from my friends that you need to take the hard decisions, not the easy ones. The hard one here would be moving forward and trying to maybe forgive or help instead of just killing, just wiping the slate clean, starting over.
You think that this decision, for me, was easy.
If it wasn't, you still didn't think over the alternatives. Or maybe at the time you didn't have an alternative because you didn't have any friends. We're your friends. We're the alternative.
Give me an alternative that will work.
We stop Penny so people survive.
I won't allow that to happen.
Well, you give me an alternative then.
I don't have to. Our plan works.
But you're asking for one and then you won't even listen. Your plan is just kill everybody. Start again.
Yes.
Okay, that's a bad plan. It's a mean plan.
This isn't the kindergarten playground. Being mean doesn't mean anything to me.
What does mean anything to you? What do you want?
Retribution.
And then what?
Paradise.
And what's paradise to you?
He thinks for a second, and he says, what I used to have.
An empty planet?
It wasn't always empty.
What was here? We don't know.
And yet you're telling me, you're lecturing me on what is right and wrong.
I'm asking you.
I'm telling you that we had paradise, and it was taken from us. And now it is our time to take from you to restore balance.
What was taken from you?
Everything. Our people, our culture, our monuments, our nature. Everything was taken from us.
I'm sorry.
You saw the surface.
Yeah, it's fucked.
That's what's left of us.
I'm sorry.
Your apologies mean nothing.
Okay. But doing that to others, it just brings you to their level.
This isn't a war of ethics and morals.
It can be.
It's one of necessity.
Cody, a little while ago, we had a couple conversations where I said we were going to have to make a hard decision.
Hey, Merrick, you don't need to speak anymore. We need to do this. Sorry, Exium.
It's your turn, Cody.
Merrick smiles. He's proud.
I press the button on my comms and I say, persistence? Does anything? I am going to move action, enhance resistance to electricity, standard action, bonk. That is a 23.
That does not hit.
Yeah, fair.
As you are having this conversation, you take a swing with your hammer. Yes? That's what you got out right now? And he just raises his hand and catches it, the head of the hammer, with one hand. A crackle of electricity rips through it, shocking your hand a little bit, making you having to like sort of pull back. And he lowers his stance a little bit. And once again, that smile shifts into a frown and an exaggerated, like, angry face. And Durrin, it is your turn.
Yeah, definitely gonna have to... Fuck this. This has just been exhausting and roundabout. So I'm gonna use my trick attack. Oh, hell yeah. Hell yeah. The fuck number is that gonna be?
Hopefully a big one.
It is. It's just, I'm doing math.
Terry's learning about big numbers.
47 in stealth.
Damn.
Holy shit.
That is going to do
fucking
it.
rocks.
Durrin just disappears.
Where are you moving in the room right now?
Give me the environment a little bit. I imagine like it's a factory floor.
It's a hangar.
Hangar. Okay.
So there are there's a lot of air shuttles sort of towards the back, and then there are these like huge piles of bodies.
Yeah. So yeah, I guess like whatever crates are held down or something.
There's no crates. I've explained what's in this room. It is
Okay.
air shuttles behind, like in front of you guys, and bodies.
Okay. Yeah, I guess I'm using the bodies to hide among them a little bit, like slithering through, popping out. I'm going to use my harrowing fire to set up someone's attack.
Well, before you do that,
No. Well, I'm keeping that dice roll.
use that. Give me a reflex save, please.
The bodies are not just bodies. Okay, fun.
Oh, cool. That's why you were so specific. I got an 18 on my reflex.
Okay, you are entangled. As you are moving through these bodies, the hands begin gripping you, grabbing you. One's got you by the tail, the other one's like pawing at your ear. You feel these sad, barely alive undead creatures just pawing at you and grabbing you, greatly restricting your mobility.
Oh, I hate that.
And they're all like muttering something, and it all seems to be like one word. It's different words, but it seems to be, based on what you saw with Greg, probably one of their last words.
Great. Can I get my shot off or no?
Yep, you can. You just add a -2 for entangled.
Hey, I'm keeping from my last roll. It was a natural 20, though it doesn't matter as much for a harrowing fire. But either way, I'm setting him up for our boys, for Merrick to go in.
Okay.
And just kind of like being like slightly concerned about this.
Merrick, it's your turn.
I like the image in my head of like Cody putting his like hands up between like Merrick and Benson, literally trying to kill each other. Like I feel like that image in my head is very cool. And let's hope this goes into the dice roll. First attack is 27.
27 will hit.
Nice.
That's going to be a butt ton of damage.
And what do I get from harrowing fire?
You get a +2, and then if you hit, you get all my extra damage.
Cool. What's the extra damage, Terry?
6d8 for you. Enjoy.
That's gonna be 70 points of damage.
Sheesh.
Fuck yes.
So Merrick, first attack. Merrick knows that even though Durrin is like entangled, the shot goes off. They sort of meet down together, and he's gonna make a second attack. Ooh, that is probably not gonna hit. That's gonna be a 21.
No, that does not hit.
That was a 2 on the dice.
Yeah, you see this sort of peppering of shots from Durrin, enough to distract Victor for just long enough to get one solid hit in. You get that big hit in, and then he's able to get his guard back up. Victor pivots back on one foot and does a strong and quick spin, torquing his body with great force, and spins his kunai in a big 360 arc. Cody and Merrick, you have to give me reflex save, please.
12.
21.
Okay, both of you fail.
Really wish I hadn't taken 24 damage from you, Merrick.
That's what you get for disobeying the captain, all right?
He hadn't said shit at that point, really.
You know.
If it's not an order, it's not an order.
You both take 48 points of electricity damage. Sorry, this isn't electricity. This is slashing damage. And then he is going to throw his kunai at you, Merrick.
Is throwing adjacent to me provoke an attack of opportunity?
It certainly doesn't.
What?
It typically usually does. However, Victor Benson has feats.
Some
Oh,
bullshit.
you son of a bitch.
It'd be wild if his whole thing was throwing kunai in
We have
combat.
2 feet as well, all right?
Yeah. Between us, that's 6.
That's not great, but he is pretty good at this. That is a 32.
Yeah, that will do it.
All right. Actually, he gets to roll twice on this. Doesn't matter. Oops. I was rolling to see if I got a crit. You take 33 points of damage, but the kunai buries into your shoulder, and then with a flick of his wrist, a shock of red electricity run along through those charged cables, and it's going to do some more damage to you.
Jesus Christ. I'm going to be out of stamina in one round of combat.
Yeah, this is terrible.
Welcome to hell, motherfuckers. An additional 20 points of electricity damage.
Oofa doofa.
Yes.
We oofed when we should have doofed.
Let the oofa run through you. Feel the doofa. And that is Victor Benson's turn.
I wish the Vestige just stayed in Greg or Frag. It would have been much easier.
Well, with Durrin's experience currently, you realize that wasn't the Vestige. These bodies all seem to be semi-animated. At which point, actually, that was the end of the round, right? Yes.
The Vestige might be too big to actually have a solo consciousness of its own. It might be more spread out than we think.
You notice the body mounds beginning to sort of wriggle and like move around a little bit, and you start to see some of the mounds move in like a cohesive unit, and some of the hands hit the bottom of the ground. You see some legs, and you see one of them almost stand up and begin shambling towards you guys. And you see sort of like the other mounds beginning to activate, for a lack of a better word.
Get a little bit more concerned about where I am. Cool.
Cody, it is your turn.
It's not much better where we are, Durrin, to be fair.
It's just going bad either way.
Durrin, you have the thing that can stop a mind link? Do you think it will work on Captain?
It might be able to give us a moment, but I'm not sure if it'll break anything. I mean, I'll try to get a shot in, at least.
Okay, I know this is dumb, but I don't want to kill Captain if he's still in there. And I swing twice.
He's been silvered, Cody.
Still?
He hasn't been your captain for a long time.
I am the captain now.
Yes.
That is a 31.
To hit? Yeah.
Yeah. And then a not gonna do it of 21.
No. The 31 does do it, though.
That is 29 points of damage.
Okay, how do you hit him?
Just like a chest shot, trying to like wind him. Oh fuck, half of that is electric. I'm sure that's probably not doing anything.
I know, we all have electrical weapons. This was it.
I can swap.
It is your turn, Durrin.
Okay.
Give me another reflex save, please.
Oh, cool. Will do. Yeah, 20. Fuck yes. Thank you.
You manage to wriggle free of the grip of the bodies and the hands and stuff, and you realize this time they're getting a little bit more aggressive, and you actually see some of the faces like trying to bite you. Some of the hands that have claws are trying to rake at you, but you're able to escape those.
What kind of actions do I have right now?
That's just, you have a full turn.
Sweet. Okay. Let's get a trick attack in. We're gonna stealth the fuck away from this thing for a 36.
Yep, that's good.
Okay. Try and take aim at the captain. Move it away from the bodies, because I guess we're going to deal with this now. Taking aim. Hopefully going to scramble him with a 32.
Oh, yeah. Yep.
Fantastic. Hell yeah. It didn't matter too much anyway. For 41 points of damage, and hopefully disrupting the silvernist.
So when you hit Victor, you see him stumble back a little bit. And for a second, you see almost like a... like the Doctor Strange sort of like astral projection thing. You see that almost happen with a shape of red electricity, like almost a silhouette get pushed out for a second. But then you see sort of like tendrils of electricity wrap around the front of him, almost like it's holding on to the corporeal body, and then pull itself back into the body. And with that, I'm going to say with the medicine and the mystic checks that you did earlier, you can tell that the silvering process is a factor on who the vestige can inhabit, but doesn't seem completely dependent on it.
Fair.
But you can tell that there is a correlation between silvered and the vestige ability to sort of inhabit a host.
Yeah, okay. I think I understand. I still need a fortitude save from him, though.
He is immune.
Fair.
Does Captain look in any way alert when the electricity left him for that second?
No, if anything, he looks less alert and more like the bodies in the pile.
Okay. Cody, I think he's just a puppet.
I think you're right. Thank you for trying.
Merrick, it's your turn.
It's time to cut his puppet strings. Merrick's going to make a couple of attacks. First one is not great. It's going to be a 22.
That does not hit.
The second one is a natural one.
Ugh.
I feel like I've been pretty easy on you guys on nat ones for a while.
Yeah, I do agree on that.
Yeah.
I feel like you've never been easy on my nat ones, but okay.
Last time you rolled a nat one, I hate wire pressed an elevator button.
Okay, well, that one, apart from that one. Remember when I made a woman start to die, or we all went through the ice?
You are now starting to see sort of like the martial prowess of Victor Benson. You always kind of saw him fighting on your team, and that was sort of a good feeling. You're now being on the other side of it and realizing just how agile and strong he is. He's meeting a lot of your blows head on with quick parries and deflections using very small weapons. You take 2 swipes at him, and he manages to wrap the cable of his kunai around your wrist on the first one, and as you try to swing back, he manages to sort of like leap over you and wrap the other cable around your neck and is now behind you, and you are going to be entangled.
Nice. Fun. Great.
It is his turn.
Extra fun. Good and great.
So what I'm seeing is that Captain would have just one-shotted Boomer, right? If he was this strong, oof.
We didn't have an electricity god inside of him.
He was fighting all of the terrors while you fought Boomer, yeah. He can't use his cable because he just used it and it's recharging, which sucks because this would have been cool to do.
Thank God.
But what he is going to do, Cody and Durrin, you see this because he's behind Merrick currently. His eyes begin crackling with red electricity, and then you see sort of a red glow in his throat and coming out of his mouth, and he pulls you closer, Merrick, and you feel warmth and the stinging of electricity hitting your back. You take 9 points of electricity. Cody, you're gonna have to give me a reflex save, please.
18.
You take 9 points of electricity damage as well.
I take no electricity. Suck it, DM.
Hell yeah.
Nice.
I eat it. I go, nom nom.
There is now sort of electricity beginning to sort of like crackle off and like shoot off into the ceiling and hit some of the bodies, and it's now sort of like peeling back and forth. Now like a bigger version of one of those electricity balls where you touch. It's now starting to like peel out in a larger radius.
I use my hammer like a lightning rod, and it just like funnels it down to the ground safely.
Nice. Oh, it is beginning of the turn. You see a couple more of these body mounds beginning to lift themselves up and make their way towards you. There's now about 3 of them shambling towards you. There's one that's almost more like rolling, like hands have come out almost at like a 360 and is sort of like hamster wheeling towards you guys. Cody, it's your turn.
All those. Cody's like, how dare you use Captain's body for this? He may have said don't be a hero, but he would never have been a villain. And I'm going to move action boost, because he's away from me now, right?
Yeah, he's, I would say probably like 10 feet away from you, because he took a step back and then he jumped over Merrick. So it's like Merrick, or Space Merrick, and then him.
Move action, boost, standard action, charge, and double attack.
Okay. He's going to have cover for this because he is using Merrick as a shield.
Don't love that.
It's just an AC bonus. I'm not going to like, unless you roll 1, you probably hit Merrick.
Sure. I also raged, so I don't remember if I said that. 28?
28 does it.
Perfect.
Oh, wait, no, sorry. 28 does not do it because he has cover.
Well, neither hit then.
As you line up a big swing, he pivots on his back foot and pushes Merrick sort of forward, and you have to pull your hammer back. And as you try to like swing, like change directions, once again, he just kind of like twirls and keeps putting Merrick in between him and you. Durrin, it is your turn.
Yeah, I want the situation on these homunculus bodies that are coming towards us. What kind of check can I make to take a look at these, or give me something for them?
I will accept a medicine. I will also accept a mysticism.
It's definitely going to be a medicine. Not one. It's 24 if you want the total, but
yeah, 24 is okay. This isn't a do or die skill check, so I will accept one as like.
So you're not going to fuck me on a 1? Okay.
No. Only when it matters. So you can tell that these. Ryan was very upset by that one. You can tell that these are undead creatures. And because of the nature of what silvering does, sort of like connects them to a psychic network almost, they are becoming attuned to one another and becoming a single entity. So the ones that have activated are now considered a like single creature and are operating with full unity. Like they're completely cohesive in terms of their actions and goals. And it seems like the ones that have been, quote unquote, activated are making their way towards you. They're very fucking slow because it's like piles of like 30 to 40 to 50 people all moving with the strength of like arms and legs, like crawling. So they're slow, but they are on their way.
Based on what I from Victor, after shooting him and it kind of not working, would I assume that my scramble won't work on these guys, or are we going to find out?
You would know that it would work on these guys.
Okay,
because these ones are like specifically silvered, and that's the connection. You know it's not going to be a permanent thing.
Yeah, just buy some time.
You know that it wasn't enough to sort of exercise the vestige, but it would be enough to disrupt these mounds.
Okay. How many are there? 3, I think you said? Or?
There's currently 3, yes.
All right, I'm going to use my triple attack and take a shot on each one and hopefully just kind of slow them down, disable them.
That's very fucking cool.
Looking back, like, you guys got the captain?
Yes. Merrick's tied up and
Merrick's
bleeding
tied
a lot.
up.
He's like,
Cody trying to get around him.
This situation's handled. Like 3 shots. First one, definitely. Well, actually, I don't know. 15 on the first shot.
That does hit.
Whoa, second shot.
Storms, baby.
Nat 1. Third shot, more than the first one. So, but I'll give you the number. 28.
Now, what should I do with that? You just tried to bury that Nat 1 there, Terry. Very quick.
I didn't try to bury it. I'm just, like... Nat ones didn't matter unless it mattered. I'm just like,
Shoots Cody, ejecting the spark of life from him, and I become Hidden Wire.
You manage to hit 2 of these mounds, and the second you do, you see them sort of like fall apart. It's almost like there was something holding them together, almost like a magnet holding them together. And the second you hit them, that magnet loses charge, and they just kind of like crumple into just almost like a tidal wave of bodies flatten out. And 2 of those happen. However, with your Nat 1, your shot goes wide, and you hit a electrical junction box further back in the hangar, and you see a massive shower of sparks erupt out of it, and then you see a current of electricity run the length of the room where the power cables run. And when that happens, you see sort of like the vestige's current sort of like area of effect beginning to peel around, pick up on this new electricity source, and it's going to get a little stronger.
I hate you.
That was mean. Thank you for not hating me.
But don't worry, the electricity just presses an elevator button.
Ding!
Merrick, it's your turn.
Okay, is there a way for me to get out of this entanglement? Is there a check or...
Yes, you can roll me a acrobatics check or a raw strength check. They have 2 different DCs.
Okay, I'm going to roll a strength check.
Okay.
That's going to be 24.
Oh, yeah, fuck yeah.
I got a +7 to strength, motherfucker.
You are able to almost like judo toss Captain out of it. You're able to get enough slack on the cable around your throat and just sort of like shoulder toss Victor Benson over you, unwinding sort of the cables around you. And now I will say with a roll that good, you are now flanking Victor with Cody.
Sorry, Victor. I already have an older man in my life with a weird electronic leitmotif. Only have room for one of those. And I'm going to make some attacks. 34.
That hits.
Okay. 34. 46 points of damage from the first one. And that's going to be a 36 to hit. I'm making up for lost time.
36 hits, yep.
44 points of damage. So Merrick flips him over, gets his groove back a little bit, laughs at his own joke, and then like quickly 2 slashes.
Okay, you can see the electricity become a little bit more chaotic. Victor looks bad in terms of like if he was a person, would not be looking good. You see this sort of like what was once a concentrated sort of electrical field is now becoming far more chaotic and far more dispersed. However, this is going to be round 2 of this ability. Durrin and Cody, please give me reflex saves. Oh, actually, you as well, Merrick, because you're not entangled anymore.
There we go. That's a 28.
Dirty 20.
10.
Cody, you take 13 points of electricity damage.
I take 1 point.
Merrick and Durrin, you take 26 points of electricity damage.
Oof.
And then he's going to take a attack at Cody. That is a 35.
Yep.
24 points of slashing damage. As he twirls, he snaps a kunai back into his hand and flicks them in, and with a like reverse grip manages to get just 2 quick slashes in on you. And that is his turn. Cody, it is your turn. Durrin, because you're keeping an eye on them, you see another 3 mounds beginning to activate. The two that you shot, you can see are starting to kind of like put themselves back together, but you know you've got a bit of time before that happens.
Yeah, I see what I'm going to be focusing on this combat. Just giving you guys some space.
I'm going to double attack.
Teamwork time.
That one.
Shit.
This one didn't matter as much, Dane. This one doesn't matter.
That one of this combat.
Your hammer does electricity, right?
It does, yeah.
Interesting. What a cool thing to do for me. Your first attack hits square in the chest, but when it does, he wraps his arms around it and like holds it for a second and sends a burst of electricity, siphoning the power out of your weapon, and he's going to heal a little bit.
I'm so glad my weapon is healing the enemy.
How much damage does your hammer do?
3d6 plus 21.
Yeah, not that much, Dan. That's insane.
Half of that is bludgeoning, so.
I'm just going to roll 3d6. Okay. You see some of those wounds stitch back.
Now,
with
the weapon is boosted until the end of this turn, which would be an extra d8. I don't know if you want to take that away from me as well.
Niall, your and Cody's honesty makes me sick sometimes.
Well, because I'm about to hopefully hit, and I don't want to be like, now it's boosted. You know, it's
yes,
there.
Your boost is gone. Any sort of like power is drained out of your weapon for this round.
I should have kept my goddamn mouth shut.
That's okay.
That's a 30 to hit, but the second one.
30 does hit.
So that is another 29 damage, halved. So 14, and then plus 2 from rage. So 16 points of damage.
Yeah, he's barely holding on. Durrin, it's your turn.
Oh, it's going to be a super boring turn. I'm just going to keep an eye on these things as they're approaching. And unfortunately, because I keep count of my ammo, I have to reload. So I use my move action to reload. And then I'm going to focus inward on myself and create a few Durrins.
Now, you've already done that. How many times can you do that a day?
3.
Oh, okay, great.
I've been kneecapping myself and I didn't realize it.
Cool.
Every time. It's a 1. There's 2 Durrins. Every fucking time.
I love that thing Durrin does, Cody, where he makes just one of himself.
It would probably be more effective if he made more.
It requires a lot of focus. All right, I got to really...
I feel like he would have done that by now, Cody, if he was actually capable of doing it.
That's fair. It must be very hard.
It's so frustrating. So that's my turn.
Cool. Merrick, it's your turn.
Victor, Vestige, Extium. Let's put an end to the madness. First one's going to be 27.
Is that including flanking?
Yeah, it's including flanking.
27 does it on the money.
Let's rock and roll out of control. 42 from the first one.
How do you finish?
Whoa.
Victor Benson.
Looks him in his eyes, and obviously this is the man that did a lot for Merrick. And in this moment, he feels bad for all the paranoia. Obviously, none of this was his fault. He would not be alive right now if it wasn't for the Vestige and the liquid. So he thinks of this as like a duty. This is a part of Merrick's purpose, is to take the man who put him on the right path and end his suffering. So as meticulously and as gentle as can be, Merrick sort of just like stabs through his heart and rips it out.
Damn.
When you drive your blade in, you see sort of a clarity come to his eyes for a moment as all the electricity, as if someone grabbed like a string and pulled it all back in. It all sucks back into his body, and his eyes glow red and crackle with little peals of electricity. And very quietly, he says, "Take care of my crew." As he dies,
I will, Captain, until the day I die.
And he crumples to the ground. You see a shock wave of red electricity shoot up into that exposed panel and disappear. I will say, if you would like, Victor Benson has some cool shit on him. I usually don't encourage you to loot, but these are some things that you might want to take with you. One, he has...
Stop moving before we loot his body.
Yeah, we're slowly being encroached by these things.
Oh, 100%. Those things are slowly shambling towards you. And now at this point in time, now that you're out of combat, you can see them all sort of animating one at a time. First,
can we retcon it so that Captain says he bursts back awake and says, "Also take my shit," so that we don't feel so bad about this?
I have some cool stuff I was hiding from you guys when I was alive.
Here's the pay I never gave you.
Here's your ROE. You might need it.
I forgot to give you vacation pay.
One, he has a Mark III Serum of Healing.
Nice.
He has a Holy Symbol of Wadan. He's got a high-capacity battery. He's got a modified laser pistol, which does 5d6 fire damage with a critical effect of burn 2d6.
That's fun.
And then he has his charge cables, which can be attached to any weapon with the operative tag, and every 1d4 rounds, you can send 66 points of electricity through it.
What the fuck?
But it has to be a range attack that hits.
Yeah, whoa, okay.
And then it gives whatever weapon it's attached the returning tag as well.
Was Captain an operative?
Yeah, this is some good shit.
All right. We should probably get moving while we're being chased slowly by these hordes of dragon frags.
Durrin's just loaded up now.
Yeah. Oh, we can talk about this later, but just shove it in my cheek pouch.
Some of those mounds are beginning to amalgamate, and the ones that are closer to each other are beginning, you see like arms reaching out and grabbing the other arms and pulling them together. So now some of the smaller mounds are becoming larger mounds, and with that, they seem to be getting a little bit faster as they are connecting with more entities and are becoming more cohesive and are now like moving in stride. And there's about like 5 of these large ones and about 9 of these smaller ones. But you can see that the smaller ones have stopped moving towards you and are now moving towards each other to try to amalgamate into the larger ones.
If they all become one, it'll be easy to just scramble them. Yay!
Well, do we need it? Is this something we need to deal with? Can we just keep moving? Is there just like a small door these big mounds can't fit through kind of vibe?
Yeah, we can do that. Just like go, right? We don't need to be here.
Now that the bodies have kind of cleared, can we see anywhere worth going to?
You can see at the far back where some of the ships have been like piled up. There is a very large hangar bay door, and then off to the left of that is what looks like a personnel door leading deeper into the facility.
Looks like that way.
Yeah, let's make a run for it, I guess.
As you guys are beginning to sprint towards it, you hear sort of like those bodies beginning to like merge, and like now they're getting very large and have now just started a almost like an Indiana Jones style like rolling boulder of bodies. And then in front of you, a ship decloaks and you hear the spin up of its weapons. It is a large black ship, polished to a shine. Yellow trim lines the outside. There is a bloom. The engines at the back look almost pedal-like. And on the front of it, you see a name, the Devil of the Stars. And you know this to be Jalen Mazo's personal ship. The automated turrets pop out of the top of the shuttle and just begin opening fire on this mound of bodies above you, and are just like spraying just like chunks of people. Full bodies are going flying, and you realize that behind the bodies is a small platoon of those like assassin robots that you had been fighting in the hallways that are also charging towards you. Over the intercom, you hear, "You've been making this a real pain in my ass, but this is where you die." You hear "bwah, bwah," as the alarm kicks in again, and a automated voice says, "Full facility lockdown initiated. Purging commencing." And you hear above you the slide of metallic shutters. And then the hiss of a gas. And in front of you, a staircase descends from the ship.
Guess we're gonna go say hi to our old pal.
Yeah. Can I get a check on this gas?
Sure. It would be a physical science. I'll take a medicine as well.
Okay. I have both, I think. Yeah, I have both. All right.
I'll help.
Sweet. It's going to be a medicine for 29.
I got a 20, so make that all 31.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
Durrin, just the first like hint of the smell of this gas, you know it is a incredibly potent neurotoxin.
Oh shit. Okay. We need to go now. Right now.
That will like pretty much instantly kill any organic being.
Glad I got a good whiff of it before we go.
Yeah.
On the ship, let's go.
It's sort of like that like catalyst smell, like before it starts, like that initial like hiss before it starts distributing. You smell it. You're like, nope. Once the shield has like dropped and cloaked or decloaked around the thing, you see that there are probably like 4 or 5 destroyed Hayden wires as well on the way into the ship. Presumably, that's where you're heading.
Yeah, don't have an option.
Who's driving the ship? Is it Meso or is it not Meso?
Guess we can't see her, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah, you cannot see. Also, because I think this is cool, give me a life science, anyone who has it.
I do not.
Actually, you know what? No, fuck it. I'll talk about this in the 10-minute rest. No, never mind.
Okay.
It doesn't matter.
Okay.
But I rolled a 17.
You guys haul ass towards that staircase that is descended. And as you get on it, the second you're on it, it begins raising up. And you are in what looks like the entry bay of a absolutely beautiful spaceship. The interior is one of the nicest, I would say like probably one of the nicest rooms you've ever been in. Let alone one on a starship. It's like almost like a welcome foyer. It's gorgeous. However, it's also destroyed. There is obvious signs of battle. And once again, you see another Hayden wire sort of absolutely dismantled in the corner. The lights are flickering. You can tell that most of the engines and power cores is damaged and depleted. The ship is like, despite its physical appearance, barely holding on in a power sense.
Can we tell like how the robots were destroyed? Was it a certain
Lightning.
energy or a sword or like?
You can tell it looks like small arms gunfire for the most part, but then some of the ones on the outside look almost exactly like the one that you had faced, where it is on its knees and its chest has been blown open.
I'm confused. Let's keep going.
I am too.
Cody, upon getting into this ship, it's been a very long time since you've been on it. And you remember what you assume is the last time you were on it. And you hear muffled arguing from behind a closed door. Alpha is sitting there. He's not much older than when you first got a soul. He's playing a little like handheld video game and kind of in his own world, but you can't help but fixate on the voices, the muffled voices on the other side of the door. 2 voices that you've heard more than probably anyone else's voice. It's Meso and Peniteris, and they're arguing. And they've been doing it a lot lately. And you can't really make out much, but you can make out one thing that Peniteris says. And she says, "I will not let you do this to him." As the door slides open, she storms towards Alpha. What do?
I get between them.
Meso runs in shortly after and says, "Do not let her take him."
Okay.
Peniteris takes another step forward towards Alpha.
I take another step in, like, towards them, and then reach out a hand and say, "Stop there."
She shoots you a cold look and says, "You don't understand. You don't know what he's going to do to him."
This is like after all the shed stuff and everything, right?
No.
Okay.
This is before you've been integrated sort of like into society.
Okay. I just kind of like smile and I say, "Stay where you are."
She turns to Meso and shoots him like a foul look and then looks back at you and she says, "When the time comes, you must protect him."
I always protect him.
And she turns to Meso and says, "I will no longer help you. Ever." And she disappears.
Your friend seems really angry.
Meso is standing there in a state of shock and anger, and for the first time since you've known him in this timeline, fear. And then the footage or the memory shakes and blurs, and there's static, and almost feels like you're fast forwarding to almost the exact same situation where it's you and Alpha. However, Alpha is much older, the age you remember him being, and he looks really bad. He's pale, he's lost a lot of weight, he has dark circles under his eyes. Every now and then he coughs heavily, and then once he's done coughing, he gasps for air. And Peniteris is there again. And she says, "I should have been here sooner. I'm sorry.
Can you help him?"
We'll do our best." And the memory flickers again, and you are sitting beside Alpha. He's in a bed. He's hooked up to a bunch of tubes and cables and monitors, the beeping and hissing and whirring. And Mazo says, he's standing in the doorway and he says, it's time to wake him up and see the doctor. This could be it for us. But we can't let him get his hopes up. We can't get ours either. But we have to stay strong for him.
I'll try.
And Mazo kneels on the opposite side of the bed and places a hand on Alpha's shoulder, and with a gentle sort of like shake, wakes Alpha, and Mazo says, it's time. And Alpha nods. And then you are snapped back into this foyer. The door where you saw Mazo and Penny were fighting slides open, revealing the next hallway. You know the layout of this ship, Cody. Down this hallway is the bridge.
I just start walking.
All right, let's keep pace, Durrin.
Okay. Cody, you're right there?
No.
Honest to a fault.
Yeah.
Once again, there are signs of battle. A lot of the sort of unnecessary systems are turned off. You can see that there's like probably a bunch of like illuminated displays that are turned off. There's only sort of a very simple strip of light at the bottom, which seems like some sort of emergency lighting. And at the far end, as you get about halfway through, Cody, with you a couple paces ahead, the door slides open to the bridge.
I walk in.
Inside is the bridge of the Devil of the Stars. It is one of the most sophisticated and well-designed bridges any of you have seen. There is a bank of terminals at the front where the windshield would be. It is currently turned off, and it is just black. There is a very soft hum through the room, but judging by the amount of machinery and equipment in here, it should be a lot louder. But once again, you can tell that a lot of these systems have been powered down. The majority of the terminals aren't even on. A few faint glows from the vital systems remain. Durrin, you see the engineering station is still active, but in sort of like a low power mode. There is a small containment tube, you could call it, in the corner, which you can tell isn't part of the ship, but has been hastily added into the network of equipment. And behind the captain's chair, there's a small sort of like seating lounge. And on it is a older man, slumped backwards, holding his stomach, blood pooling out through it. And Jalen Mazo looks at the three of you and says, we don't have much time. I need your help. Hello, Space GM Dane here to do the things. First and foremost, we hope you're enjoying this week's episode. Next, it is Crit Award season, which means we are asking you very kindly, very humbly, to consider voting for us in the Crit Awards. It's a big deal. It's kind of our big, the Oscars of our industry. And we would love to maybe net a couple of those awards. We're going to be at Gen Con this year to attend the Crit Awards. And it would be very cool to walk up and collect an award while we're there. Now, award shows are usually pretty difficult to vote for, which is why we've made a voting guide on our Discord. So head on over to noquestcast.com, click the Discord link. It'll bring you in. Go to the Crit Award channel, and it's got all the instructions on where to vote, how to vote, what categories we're putting ourselves up for, all the links you need to vote. It's all very easy. It's a lot of copy and pasting, and then you're done. You don't have to go find anything yourself. It's a very simple process. We try to make it as easy as possible. And once again, we'd be incredibly grateful for you to take the 2 minutes it takes to do it. And I just mentioned it. We would love to have you on our Discord. Head on over to noquestcast.com, click the Discord link. It's as simple as that. We would love to have you. Our community is incredible. We couldn't be prouder of the little group of weirdos we got. We love them so much, and we would love for you to be a part of that as well. Also, little benefit of joining the Discord group is we do giveaways, sometimes specifically just for the Discord, so you would never even know it happens if you aren't part of it. We also we have plans to do certain other Discord specific things as well coming up. So if you're interested in getting a little extra swag and being a part of the community, please consider joining our Discord. And while I'm talking about joining things, if you'd like to support the show, there's a couple ways you could do it. First, you can head on over to mistymountaingaming.com and pick yourself up some cool swag. Dice, apparel, accessories, everything you could possibly need for a TTRPG fan, either for yourself or for a gift. Misty Mountain Gaming has it all. And you can use our code NOQUEST10 to save yourself 10% off everything in the store at checkout. Once again, that's NOQUEST10 to save yourself 10% off everything available at mistymountaingaming.com. And finally, you could join our Patreon. I mentioned before, we are working to do some really cool Patreon stuff. At the moment, you've got a backlog of all the world primers, which gives you a little extra info on all the planets and species and races in Casa-Mal. That's something, if you're looking for more lore, that's a great way to get it. We also do the 10-minute rest, which is a 10-minute episode where we talk about the most recent episode on the off weeks where we don't upload. It gives cast reactions to the big reveals, and lately there are a lot of them. Behind the scenes looks at stuff. We kind of talk about characters and why we're doing what we're doing. I give a peek behind the look at things they may have missed or what would have happened in different scenarios. It's a lot of fun. And it's really quick and easy to listen to, but still gives a lot of insight on behind the scenes. Just head on over to noquestcast.com and click the Patreon link. That's going to do it for me this week. We hope you enjoy the rest of the episode, and we'll see you in 2 weeks' time.
Medicine check. 32.
Sure. He has been shot.
Is he dying?
He's not dying, but he's stable, but he's not good. You can see that there's like a small like healing serum syringe beside him, and like some basic like a first aid kit. So he's okay, but he's hurt.
Meso, is the person who did this to you still in the room?
That's a great question.
He nods and points to a exploded Hayden wire.
Okay.
Looks like you're in a pretty bad way there.
He looks at you and he says, "I don't have a lot of time. And I don't mean this." And he looks down at his like open bleeding wound. He says, "I need to get into that." And he points at the containment tube that has been like hardwired into the ship very hastily. The facility is currently under siege, as you've probably been able to tell. The majority of the systems have been taken over by the Vestige. I need to get in there to reconnect. All of the systems here are coded to my body, my brain, much in the way that you saw at Dahlia. I can get in there and essentially purge the system of the Vestige. I need to do it soon. And he heaves himself up and staggers to one of the few terminals that are working, and he presses a button, and on the bridge screen, what would be the windshield, you see a huge security cam footage of what seems to be a room called Project Transference, and it is a electric storm outside. It is just like rips of red lightning. It looks like it was when you were outside, but centralized in sort of a hallway and a small room. And in this hallway, you see shreds of like numerous Hayden wire bodies. He looks at the three of you and he says, "Penny is in there. We can't get to her until the Vestige is dealt with. I will be able to purge it from our system, but I don't know if I'll be able to stop that." And he points at the electrical storm and he says, "That's why, if you can get here," and he pulls up a map and points to a room called the Fabricator, "I will be able to set you up with something that will allow you to pass through it. Make most of the Vestige's powers useless against you. From there, you need to go in and stop Peniteris."
You want us to help you now after everything you've done to us. Why would we trust you? What happened? What happened to Alpha? Tell me that, and then maybe I'll listen.
"He died.
How?
We tried to save him, and we failed.
And what happened to me?
You failed as well.
And you just threw me away?
Because you were too hard to look at. Because everything you said, everything you did, Your existence reminded me of him.
I turn my back on him to the other two and I say, I guess we have to do this then.
We're gonna need his help.
He's in a pretty good spot to answer some questions.
No, we're running out of time a little bit, so if you have another big one, we can maybe hit him with another big one.
As you say that, you hear another rumble as the entire facility shakes. This one is the largest, the longest, and the loudest. And almost agreeing with Merrick that time is running out.
We'll talk after this. I'm not gonna let me get in the way of saving everything. Let's go.
There has to be something with Penny that, we're missing, right?
What's transference?
It was how we tried to save Alpha.
Did you try to give the sickness to somebody else?
We thought that we could move Alpha's consciousness into you.
Cody, reels at that, and he remembers hearing Alpha's voice on Sonona's Prime.
It's why you don't remember him.
I do, though.
You didn't. It's because we purged everything from you. It was the only way we could do it safely. If you had memories of him, as well as him inside you, it would create a mental tearing. So with your permission, we wiped all memory of Alpha, of everything from you, to make a blank slate for him, and it didn't work. And he slips on a little bit of the blood that's on his hand on the terminal, drops to a knee, and he just says, we can talk about this later. I will answer every question you have, but right now, we need to stop that. And he reaches up and presses a button, and you see just how dire it's gotten in Casa-Mal. He opens up a news feed, which seems to be something he's been monitoring from this ship, of the catastrophes all over the system.
Let's go. Let's deal with whatever this is.
Did this happen to take 10 minutes?
You can definitely take a 10-minute rest here, for sure.
Thank
Didn't want
God.
to ruin the mood, but I need my HP back.
He reaches a hand up for assistance getting to his feet and into the tube.
I can't. I just freeze.
I do it. Merrick goes over and helps him up.
Yeah, you get him to the tube, and he slides into it. He grabs a small helmet and puts it on top, and grabs a set of gloves and puts them on, and he says, I know that this is my fault, and I've been trying for a very long time to convince myself that I would do things differently. But if you told me right now there was a chance to save either one of them, I'd let Casa-Mal burn. And he presses a button as the tube slides shut, and you see him go rigid and still. You now have a map in front of you, leading you towards what seems to be called the Fabricator. There's a brief moment where you hear just sort of garbled nonsense over the intercom outside in the facility, and then you see the starship screen open up so that you can see out into the hangar, and the emergency lights have gone on, the alarm has turned off, and you see, or you hear that automated voice go, ventilation in process, and you see that gas beginning to dissipate and get sucked up into the ceiling.
I guess we're dealing with Penny now.
I guess so.
You holding up okay, buddy?
He said Alpha was dead.
Cody,
Yeah, I did.
let's fulfill what we need to do here, and then we will grieve together, my friend. We will grieve, and we will grieve.
I guess I always worried that was the case.
Part of you knew.
Yeah, maybe. I really thought I'd find him.
All I can say, Cody, I obviously can't heal the pain in any way, but with my father, he still is with me. I hear his teachings, I hear his voice. And those memories and those moments, I wish I had so much more time, but use it to fuel you, okay? When we go out there, think about the good times. Think how Alpha would want to live in a safe, beautiful world. And let's go create that. So nothing like this happens to anyone like Sweet Alpha ever again, okay?
I feel like I heard his voice, too. But you're right, we can't... I can't stop. We need to go.
If you get blindsided, by your regret, you're gonna become like him. And I point towards Mazo, sort of is.
Never become like him.
I know. You're our Cody. Let's go be heroes, I guess.
Yeah.
Captain's orders this time.
Yeah, I think it always kind of was, you know? Let's go.
Let's end this madness.
So yes, if you would like to, you can all spend a resolve point, take 10 minutes, regain your stamina.
Yeah, 100%.
Okay, cool. You now have a map of the facility. So you know exactly where the fabricator is, and you know that you need to go to sub-level 9 to get to Peniteris. Yeah, you can tell that Mazo is now in the system, and you will hopefully not be pestered by Riddle for a little bit. Yeah, you guys make it out of the ship, and the decimated corpses of the mounds have been dealt with. You can see that every now and in the mess, there are a few individuals just slowly crawling around, muttering to themselves. But you're able to get to that side personnel door off to the left of the hangar and make your way through the hallways. And it's quiet. There's no alarm. There's no riddle. It's just silence. And you're able to make it to the fabricator. And in it, you see a large machine with a very complicated set of terminals and a big spool of this glowing material. You see the terminal turn on, and then across the room there is a pad that seems to have a 360 camera. It's one of those glamour cams you see at red carpets, and that also lights up.
You are about to tear it up.
So as you guys head over and stand in there, there's a quick scan. Presumably you're doing it.
Yes, yeah.
Sure.
Cool. You stand in that sort of camera thing. It spins around real quick. A couple scans happen, and then you hear the fabricator activate, and you hear crunching, and that material, glowing material in the case beside it begin to spool down a bit. And then there is a suit of armor waiting for you, completely and perfectly designed for yourself. I asked you boys to prepare a level 14 armor that you wanted. I don't know if it's going to be particularly exciting to talk about it, but we're going to do it anyway. The one thing is, they are all red and black. They all sort of have a uniform design because they are a specific design type. And I will tell you what they do in a moment. But Ryan, what kind of armor did you get?
I just upgraded what I had. So I went from one version of the Hell Knight armor just to the one up. So hold on, the names are strange for these armors.
You did the exact same thing I did. So from Marilictor to Paralictor.
Yeah, from Paralictor to Marilictor to Paralictor. Is that how it went? Yeah, Marilictor to Paralictor. See, this is what the people want to hear.
I hate it.
I'll mispronounce weird names.
And they have this very sleek black and red design. The trim, almost all the outlining pieces are outlined in red that have a little bit of an LED glow as well. And on the back is a small sort of coil that attaches onto the spine of the armor. Durrin, what did you get?
Okay, I was going through it and I found probably some pretty fun light armor. It's called Void Hide 2. What's fun is that it can reflect attacks back 3 times per day as a reaction.
Hell yeah.
Which is fun. And it also is made out of troll skin that's not quite dead, so it does quiver.
Gross.
And it does use the term quiver in the description. So
yeah, terrible. I hate that.
Occasionally it'll do that. It's fine.
Incredible.
So once again, you get this sleek armor with the red and black and this coil that runs along pretty much from the base of your neck down to your tailbone, almost like a Dead Space kind of thing, right? And you now have electricity resist 15.
Oh, we're gonna get bodied so hard.
Once a day, you can completely negate electricity damage.
Otherwise, it's 15.
Otherwise, yeah, you have a permanent 15 electricity resist, and once a day, when you take electricity damage, it doesn't take an action. You just choose to use it or not. It absorbs all of the electricity damage, and when you use that ability, the electricity is stored in that spinal column that you have, and you can use it to power your attacks with electricity, and it adds 2d6 electricity damage to your weapon.
Nice.
Yeah, for a round.
Fuck yeah.
Very cool.
I got some good shit this session, boys.
We beefed up our Durrin.
Yeah, you did. We'll have to talk about the other shit later.
And you are now ready to head down to sub-level 9, where Peniteris awaits. there is a elevator not too far from the fabricator. Is there anything you guys want to do before you head down?
It's all terrible. Let's go.
Yeah, I mean, it's not going to get much better as we wait.
All right. You guys get into the elevator and head down to sub-level 9. When the doors open, you see the raging electrical storm that is protecting Peniteris. Cody, you remember this hall. You walked Alpha down it when you first met the doctor who was going to take care of him, and when you were about to undergo the transference.
Alpha's pace was slow, and he relies heavily on you for your assistance to walk. The doctor's office is in a small room off the side of a lab. It's cluttered, but you can tell that care has been put into keeping it organized. Stacks of books and folders are piled high on his desk. X-rays and scans of Alpha are displayed across the wall. A man in a long white lab coat sits in front of a terminal, frantically typing away as he refers to a file beside him. He doesn't turn around as he hears you come in, but he does say, "I'll be with you in a moment. Just have a seat, please. Make yourself comfortable." It's only a few more moments before he finishes up, turns off his screen, closes the folder, and pulls his sandy brown hair back into a ponytail. He turns around in his chair and slides over to face the two of you as he takes off his glasses and puts them in his pocket. He smiles warmly at Alpha. "Hello, my name is Dr. Sinai, but please, call me Azin."